Hey everybody, Baron Dome here. I'm here today at Hammerbeam's Villager Breeder on 2b2t.org. And when I first came here to help build a villager trading hall, I knew I wanted to build a big trading hall with lots of villagers, especially if you're a self-sufficient base as this one is. But in order to have a large trading hall, you need a villager breeder that is capable of producing lots of villagers in a short amount of time. And you also need to be able to build that breeder within the constraints of your Minecraft server. Now there are many types of villager breeders out there. There are some where villagers are in small farming areas and then the farmers will pick the food and then they'll give it to other villagers to breed. And then there's the other ones like this one where you have the villagers kind of in cells, they're constrained and then you're just feeding them and then that way the babies just have no choice to go but just out. I prefer this design on 2b2t mainly because the TPS can be kind of low and mobs in general just seem to be stupider and they just don't move. It's just like their AI has been removed. So when you've got them forced in a small little area, they've got nowhere to go. All they're going to do is breed. Also on 2b2t, we have to deal with a low entity cramming of 6 compared to normal Minecraft servers of 24. If you don't know what entity cramming is, it's basically how many mobs can be together in one area. It's not a real issue, it's just that you have to be a little bit more creative with some of your designs. So for this breeder, I created 8 separate cells, each with 4 villagers in it. Mainly because once a baby is born, he'll make the 5th one in the cell, so they won't hit the max entity cramming, and that way it'll give enough time for the baby to get in the water stream and be pushed out before potentially a 6th baby will be born. So we've got the 32 villagers here, and each set of villagers is capable of making a baby every 5 minutes. So we potentially have what's that? 16. We can make 16 babies every 5 minutes. So that's quite an impressive output. I also wanted a way that I could automate the feeding of the villagers because I hated just standing in one location, just feeding somebody. It gets quite annoying. So I wanted a way to completely automate it. So we came up with this idea of, you can put your food in here. Let me just show you back here. So there's a hopper there, which feeds into another hopper system into these droppers. And this is if you've never done kind of a dropper system with a redstone, use this kind of setup with redstone because there are some with automatic droppers where once the dropper is completely full, the system of firing them off will never fire. It can't detect the amount. So this is a never clog type of dispenser dropper redstone setup. So if you ever need one like that, use this kind of setup. So what we do basically is we put food into the chest, and then it's going to go into the system hoppers and then droppers, and then it's going to pop some food out there. Let me get some. I've got some food around here someplace. We should get 64. I think the TPS is kind of low. So it's coming out right now. You can't see it for the most part because as soon as it's coming up, these villagers right here are picking them up because they're going to fill up their inventories first. So this system is not perfect, mainly because the villagers in front will get fed first. And then, of course, once their inventories are full, the next ones will get it. But for the most part, all the food gets channeled down here, and every villager has the opportunity to pick up food from here. And even if they throw the food to each other, the only person they're going to be throwing it to is each other in their own cells. If they throw food, it will either go back into the water stream or just kind of stay with them and they'll pick it up. So what happens if, no villagers pick up food and it all comes down to here? This hopper will pick it up and it'll actually return it right back into the system. So there is no loss of food at all. All the villagers will get food, and if a villager does not pick up the food, then it just gets returned back into the system. So what happens to the babies? All the babies, once they're born, they'll kind of pop out here, and it is a one high hole here, so the babies can come out. Of course, the villagers, the adults are not going anywhere. They will all pop out into these water streams, and I put some packed ice here, just to get them out as quickly as possible so they don't drown or get stuck. They all come out here, and then the ones on this side, they all converge right down to here, and we've actually set up where am I at? Oh, okay. We set up a kind of a lever right here, so to the left it goes to the trading hall, And to the right is to the minecart system where we can actually transport them back to the base if we want to put them in like stalls and make it like a normal village. Like, you know, you've got actually real people in the village. For right now, we haven't set this up, but this is completely working, and they're all going on down there. So like I was saying, this system is not completely perfect. You know, the front villagers will always get the food. The last ones, until they have all got their food, is when these guys will start getting food. I mean, I could probably set up another system where it feeds them from this end and then it converges in the middle. But for our trading hall right now, this is actually producing more than enough villagers. Right now, our hall is set up to 96 villagers with 96 more holding positions. That's going to be a future video that I'm going to be doing probably pretty soon. But this is doing the job for us. It does it very efficiently. You know, we can come up here. We've also put in some micro farms right here where we can quickly make some, you know, more carrots and just put it right into the farm and just keep feeding them and keep going. So I'm going to hop in a single player world right now for you guys, just to give you an idea how I built this. It's a pretty simple design, but I kind of wanted to just show it off the build in case you wanted to build it on a 2B2T because of our crappy low entity count. So let's head over there and I'll show you how I made it. All right, we're here in our single player world. So I've already got the farm built. I'm just going to quickly show it to you a little bit, and then we're going to kind of do a step-by-step process on building it. So for the most part, this is what it looks like. It's a very simple build. Just with the individual cells and the hoppers that run through the center, and they have slabs that give their head the half gap where they can get the food and allows the water to stream by. And of course the redstone in the back. Now you can use whatever you want to do to build this. I'm just going to use iron blocks and glass just so you can kind of see the inner workings of the whole farm. So to start the whole thing, it is a 9x9 block area. And we're going to start off with like a kind of a giant eye. So you got the 5 on each end and then the row in the middle. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put the individual lines of the packed ice, and you don't need to use packed ice. I just like it because it gets the babies out faster. And then you fill in the normal, the individual areas right here with another blocks, just like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the water streams for the babies to come out. So this is where the redstone is going to be on this side, and they're going to flow out that way. Just like that. Alright, now we're going to put in another row of glass, or whatever you use. And at the end here we do that. We do need our dropper. So we have one facing up and then another facing up right there. And this is where you have your hopper line all the way straight through. At the very end, and then one facing up just like that. And on this side, you're going to have one in like that. Sorry. It goes then up and around right there, and then you put your chest right on top. Then we're going to go ahead and put the glass right like there. So that we've got the individual cells kind of all hardened off. And now we're going to put some signs in, because this is where we're going to stop the water streams for each of the cells. If I'd built up the rest of the walls first. ahead and add the water for there. And then put the water right at the end. That way it gives it the perfect length. Just like that. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to do another layer of glass. And we're going to pretty much close off the entire area except for right in this spot. Right, so right where you put the source blocks, that's the only place that's not going to have glass. Got to pretty much close off the entire area. Okay, so the entire area is closed off for glass, except for the source blocks are at, and right here, because we're going to need to put some redstone there. Now you're probably wondering how you're going to get these villagers in survival mode and still put them into the glass, and I'm going to show you how we do it. So you're going to need a couple things. You're going to need a piston, you're going to need a redstone. We are going to need that actually. So however you do it, you got your villager, you're going to get your 4 villagers in here, but you can't just place glass right in their heads. You see I'm clicking, it's not going to go in there. So you're going to have to use pistons. So we're going to put that. So what this block is going to do is eventually it's going to be down there, right where his head's at. There we go. Okay, so that's there. Now we got to go down one more, but now we're going to do a slab. So that's exactly what you want. You want a piece of glass in their head and a top slab right above it. And you're going to need to do that for the entire section, because once the villagers are all in, so let's just say they're all in, so these would be all closed off. You're going to go ahead and put some slabs just like that on that side. And the same on this side. Because then you can put your water right there and it flows right to there. And I'd probably recommend too that you put more glass or some other blocks on this side too. That way they don't just try to throw their carrots, whatever you feed them, out that way. And I can't place one here because he's got his body's glitching into that side. But you would basically use the same thing with more pistons and just push whatever down. As long as it's a transparent block. If it's not transparent, it will suffocate them. And then over the top of that, because you don't want your items shooting out. You want them to stay in the water stream, and then they'll go that way. So as you can see, if you come in here, it's a 1 high block, so the babies will come right out. The adults will stay in there, and they all come out the stream, and you can actually do like a convergence where, they come out. And it all flows out right there. Just like that. Now let's go ahead and make the redstone for here. So you're gonna need redstone, repeater, comparator, and just a regular redstone dust. So you want a comparator, you want it in the, I don't even know what that's called, but that's the other option. You've got to right click on it. And then we do a repeater this way, repeater that way, repeater into the block, put dust all right there, and then one more piece of dust right there. Let me get some carrots just to show you. So see, they're coming up. And he's actually picking them up. That's why they're disappearing like right there. He didn't pick those up, which is fine because if you had villagers on this side, they would be picking up those carrots. He's picking up the ones on that side. And if there's ever a time you actually, want to turn this off, you can just put a lever right there and it just turns it off, or you can come back in and turn it on. That way if you ever want to stop the breeding. And you got to remember too that you have to have a village in proximity. So if you would build like about 6 blocks up, you build like you put up a platform with a village and a couple doors. That way these villagers will try to breed to get up to the max level of doors that are in the farm or for the village. So that's the basis of the Hammerbeam Villager Breeder. And in the next video, I'm actually going to show you the entire trading hall, all 96 trading spots. It's going to be a lot, so stay tuned for that one. So thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll catch you all later. Bye.